Occurred, the 18th of April 2001, 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Illinois state line, close to IN, USA. Shape, circle. Duration, under 1 minute. No of observers. 2 characteristics: lights on object, clear starry night sky. Cross-like or star-like object seen in the sky. Very bright white, opaque, larger than surrounding stars. Object seen above horizon line as we are traveling on Interstate 90 in Indiana, close to Illinois state line, late in the night. Will confirm time with spouse. The object rose vertically and moved in the opposite direction we were traveling. As it rose vertically, I moved forward in my seat, turned my head upward and to the left as it passed over the roof of the vehicle. As the object was passing, I got a side view and a bit of the back. Many small red lights curved around the base. Lights flashed on either side. The flashes possibly obscured more red lights on the far side. The red lights curving gave the impression that the object was circular, or at least the base was. Addendum to original report. I viewed a bright, white cross-like or star-like object with many smaller red lights late on April 1801 on Interstate 90 in Indiana. Clear starry night sky. Cross-like or star-like object seen in the sky. Very bright white, opaque, larger than surrounding stars. Object seen above horizon line as we are traveling on Interstate 90 in Indiana, close to Illinois state line, late in the night. Will confirm time with spouse. The object rose vertically and moved in the opposite direction we were traveling. As it rose vertically, I moved forward in my seat, turned my head upward and to the left as it passed over the roof of the vehicle. As the object was passing, I got a side view and a bit of the back. Many small red lights curved around the base. Lights flashed on either side. The flashes possibly obscured more red lights on the far side. The red lights curving gave the impression that the object was circular, or at least the base was. NUFORC note. We spoke with this witness, and we found her to be quite lucid and serious-minded in her description of the event. PD.
Occurred, the 21st of March 2012, 20 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Westfield, in, USA. Shape, formation. Duration: 3 to 5 seconds. No of observers. 1-2 orange glowing orbs. Speed across sky in formation. I was standing out sighting on our balcony by myself, smoking a cigarette. To my amazement, as I actually said, "Whoa," out loud, 2 glowing red-orange orbs of light shot across the sky. Our place is facing south, so these objects flew in from the southwest due north. These 2 objects flew in a perfectly horizontal path. They flew in a staggered formation, with one appearing to be above the other, but slightly in front. These objects left no trail like a meteor would. The light was a constant self-emitted warm orange glow with sharp edges. The objects raced across the sky with incredible speed. It took probably no more than 3 seconds to cover the extent of my view in the horizon before they flew behind our home and out of sight. These were no meteors. They appeared to be intelligently controlled. The best way to describe the size of the objects in the sky would be to say if you held a lit cigarette as far from your face as possible in the dark against the sky, that little orange glow is about the size of the 2 objects seen racing across the sky. I am a licensed professional business owner in the state of Indiana. This report was originally submitted to MUFON a few days after the occurrence. I have submitted here after Mr. Davenport's visit on Coast to Coast AM the other evening. He mentioned there has been somewhat of a phenomenon of these sightings.
Occurred, the 2nd of September 2009, 11 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Westfield, IN, USA. Shape, sphere. Duration: 2 hours. No of observers. 4 characteristics: lights on object, aura or haze around object, aircraft nearby, ball of light that hovered up and down and right and left. One of my family members was coming down my street on his way back to the house from the local gas station while I was outside smoking a cigarette. He got out of his car and told me to follow him down to the street corner. We walked down to the corner and there it was a bluish-white ball of light moving around slowly by the moon. My family member went to get another family member as I stood there watching the UFO. They got back to where I was. I called my bubby to tell him to come outside and look at the sky. He saw the craft moving as well. We then went back inside. About an hour later, my family member decided to go back out to look at it some more. I followed him out and this time we saw two. One was flying overhead at a tremendous speed. The other was moving in the opposite direction at a much slower speed.
Occurred, the 16th of April 2008, 10 hours 37 minutes and 0 seconds local location, Westfield, IN, USA shape, cigar duration, 3 minutes no of observers, 3 characteristics, lights on object, a huge object with about 22 lights rotating counterclockwise moving, hovering, and then vanishing north of Hamilton County, Indiana. I live in Westfield and was outside with my friends and just happened to look up and I seen this object come down from the sky diagonally. It was one solid object because the individual lights were perfectly aligned. It leveled itself out and just kind of hovered for about 20 seconds or so. While all this was happening, the lights on the object were rotating counterclockwise. It then took back off up toward the sky and so fast, it just vanished. I live about 20 miles from where this happened. I was just far enough to know that it wasn't a bunch of little objects. It was not a flare. We would have never been able to see AF-16 from there, especially in the night. We could tell it was one big object with about 15 to 25 lights. I would imagine that if you were anywhere close to the site, like 5 miles or so, it would look like a fireball, but it wasn't. We had a perfect look at it. By the time we got out, camera phones loaded up, the thing was long gone. Also, the local news talked about sending helis up to the scene, but I didn't see any of them headed that way. They also said it was F-16s last night. This morning they said it was meteor showers. Now they are saying it was F-16s. F-16s are not allowed to break the sound barrier, and why would they do a training mission around a residential area? Things are not adding up. I am the biggest skeptic of them all, and after last night I don't think I will look at the sky the same anymore. What we witnessed last night was no man-made aircraft. No way, no how. I am always the person that has to see it to believe it. Buddy, I seen it and I know in my heart it wasn't anything close to normal.
Occurred, the 9th of June 2022, 20 hours 21 minutes and 0 seconds local location, Georgetown, in, USA location details. Object in air hovering over military aircraft shape, triangle duration, 30 seconds no of observers, 1 characteristics, aircraft nearby hovering over military aircraft. I was taking an evening stroll when I heard a convoy of military prop planes. 2 passed by and I was intrigued because they did not have any markings on them. I decided to take a picture of the third plane with my iPhone 13 to study the planes later. I saw a dark speck in the sky and did not think anything of it. Upon studying the photo, the dark speck was in the photo. I zoomed in and noticed a triangular and metallic-looking unidentified aerial phenomenon which seemed to be hovering above the plane and observing it. I did a reverse image search on Google and several similar photos of triangular objects popped up.
Occurred, the 20th of December 2019, 22 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds local location, Georgetown, in, USA shape, disk duration, 2 minutes no of observers, 1 characteristics, lights on object, aura or haze around object. Less than a year ago I heard, felt, perceived, for lack of a better term, something outside my bedroom in Georgetown, Indiana. I looked outside to see 3 saucer, dinner plate, sized UFOs hovering about a foot off the deck. They were moving in a spinning motion, it seemed, though they spun at a rate in which it's hard to say spinning with accuracy. The one in the middle was slightly larger and had a very soft glow, luminance, and the outside rim was flipping up and down intermittently, but there was no noticeable hinge or break in its solid form. My first thought was I wasn't seeing this, and I looked away. On second glance I looked away and rubbed my knuckles into my eyes to clear them. On third glance I thought if these are moving then they must be displacing air. There was a weird distortion around them similar to heat rising from a road, but this was night and I only noticed this distorted air around these 3 objects. The larger went being My thought was they would be moving with these objects moving above them, but they were absolutely still. I feel I must say that sometimes I am more brave than smart. If I believe people or animals to have been on the property, I would investigate, sometimes running flat out to the potential threat to my home, family or pets. I had an unexplainable dread, a terror wash over me, and I backed myself out of the room trembling. I was stuttering and stammering, unable to take my eyes from the bedroom door as I tried to speak when my fiancée took note of my behavior and asked what was wrong in a concerned tone. I had an image that kept playing over and over in my mind that also is inexplicable. That image was of a snow owl with spread wings flying towards me over a snow-covered area. I'm not scared of owls. Has anyone had a similar experience?